So fractions, decimals and percentages. It's important that we can go between the three, and it's important to know a little bit about them. So a fraction represents division. So for example, if we think about the fraction 1/3, that is the same as 1 divided by 3. And as a picture, we can see 1 split into 3, a third. So remember, a fraction can just be written as division. A decimal is positioned in the place value table, and it's the number after the decimal point. So for example, if we look at 0.12, we can see that's a decimal, and in terms of the place value table, this is our units. There's the decimal point, so we can see the location. The 1 represents the tenths and the 2 represents the hundredths. So knowing about decimals is really key to the place value big idea. And finally, percentages. Percent is out of 100. So for example, 16% can also be wrote as 16 per 100, and we'll come back to that in a second. So in the exam, you could have questions where you need to change a fraction to a decimal. For example, if you had to change 7 out of 10 into a decimal. So if I think about 7 out of 10 being a division sum, 7 divided by 10, that is purely place value, 7 divided by 10. So if I imagine it's in a place value table, 7 moves one place to the right, getting smaller, 0.7. So as a decimal, 7/10 is 0.7. Likewise, 7 over 10 could also become a percentage. Remember the definition per 100, if I could get it out of 100. 10 to 100 can quickly be found by timesing by 10, and as long as you're equivalent, and you do the same to top and bottom, you will have the equivalent percentage. So 7/10 is the same as 70 out of 100, wrote 70%. Now, changing a decimal to any of the others, so let's have a look at 0.6. If I wanted to change that to, firstly, a fraction, it's important to know your place value table. So again, units and tenths. So I now know the value of the 6 is 6 out of 10, because that is the location. In there, there are 6 of them, and they're called tenths, so I've got 6/10. So that is the decimal to a fraction. And if I wanted to change a fraction to a percentage, remember it is out of 100. Nice and easy. Times by 10, same to top and bottom, to make an equivalent fraction, and that's going to give me 60 out of 100. Therefore, it's 60%. Finally, going from percentages. So, for example, if we had something like 16%, we know to change that to a fraction, it's per 100, so 16 out of 100. That is the fraction. In the exam, though, you might be asked to simplify, so if it did ask for in its simplest form, remember you could simplify down. We can see they're both even, so make the maths easy. 8 over 50, still both even, so that was divided by 2. Do the same again, divide by 2, make it 4 out of 25, and that would be if the question said in its simplest form. And then finally, we need to use the decimal, and I'm going to go back to the 16 per 100 is the same as 16 divided by 100, making that link there that the fraction can be wrote as division. So now we can use place value for 16 divided by 100. So at the top right, we've got 16, and there's the decimal point. It never moves. And if I now divide by 100, that's dividing by 2 powers of 10. It's going to move twice. So the 1 would move to the units and then into the tenths column, and the 6 would follow, moving 2 places. And remember, that doesn't read as an answer, so my final thing to do is pop a 0. So it reads as a decimal, so your final answer would be 0.16.